So I recently watched Sarah's Oil, and this is a family-friendly, educational, as well as entertaining, not really traumatic, easy to watch light movie that tells the story of Sarah Rector, a girl from Oklahoma who becomes America's youngest millionaire at the age of 11 when in 1913 they found oil on her land. So in the early 1900s, when they were giving out land on the Muskogee Creek Nation allotments, they were giving out land to freedmen as well as tribal members at that time. Sarah's family were Creek freedmen, Black descendants of the Muskogee Creek Nation, and so she received the land. And everybody was telling her the land was useless, like there's no oil, yada yada. But she was like, no, there's oil on here. I believe there's oil on here. The thing is, that little girl could speak for herself. She was very intelligent, charismatic, very understanding of the time she lived in, what she had, and her conviction. So she ends up meeting two guys. One who tells her land is useless, but you can have my equipment to dig. And another one that digs, finds a little bit of oil. They get it tested. They find that there's money for it. Everybody now is starting to realize that no, her land is very valuable. And that's when you start to see the atrocities of being Black in America, how they don't want nothing until they realize that there's value to it, that we created value in it. And now they're like, oh no, we want it. And so as you're watching this movie, you learn a lot more about Black history. And even when we receive things that were rightfully ours, how people would lie, cheat, kill, and steal to get it. There are so many ways you could have told this story. They chose a little bit more of the lighthearted side. So you understood that it was real dangers, real hurdles that she had to get over, but they didn't go so deep where she might feel traumatized or you couldn't watch with kids. And I also feel like this movie, although it's based in 1913, there's so many parts of it that remind you of 2025, which is ridiculous. It's also a reminder that Black history is American history. And it is so important that we know these stories. I think we talk all the time about not wanting any more slave movies and we want this and we want that, but we still want to know our history. This is one of those because I didn't know who Sarah Rector was till they first announced this movie. And I've been very excited about this project since they first announced it. I will say I was having a moral dilemma. I really struggle with how do you support a movie like this when you have somebody like Zachary Levi a part of it? But I say this story is way too important. I personally do not like him anymore. And I was a huge fan. Chuck was my comfort show. But I think between Naya, Desir-Johnson, Sonequa, Martin Green, and Kenric Green, they did a phenomenal job in telling it and even just introducing us to who she is. And I think the way they tell this story is light enough that you can watch without feeling away, but it gives you enough information that you want to educate yourself on more. So there's so many little parts that I literally pause to like look into because I don't know about y'all, but when I watch a based on a true story movie, I'm always like, okay, is this part true or not? But either way, the film itself is so important. And I definitely can't wait to watch with my nieces and nephews so that they can better understand a part of American history that they for so long never ever wanted to talk about. Because raise your hand how many times you heard of Sarah Rector before recently. Do you plan on checking out Sarah's Oil? I will see you in the comment section.